Hey gang, hope you're having a great day today. I thought I would drop in on the feed and share something with you that I really hope can help you grow your real estate investing business, especially on the creative side. You know, we're all about doing creative deals and creative deal structuring. In fact, our unofficial motto is think creatively first. And really all that means is, we're all taught when we're coming into this business to go out and do all of this marketing, schedule these appointments, and go out and make cash offers. That is generally what most of these gurus are pushing on their students. And it's pretty widely accepted that, that's just what you do. And that's totally okay. But we take a very different approach when it comes to making offers. In fact, we take a very different approach to how we market to sellers to even get the appointments in order to have the opportunities to make those offers. Our process for acquiring Sub2 deals begins well before we ever make a phone call or send out a piece of mail. When I started out in this business, I spent an insane amount of money on education. An insane amount of money on education, different trainings and what have you. And then I spent an even longer time pondering and pontificating on what type of marketing I wanted to implement. I mean, it was a good solid year before I even started my marketing. But all of these different training programs and mentors, they just got super expensive. I was spending money that I didn't really have on really what basically amounts to a dream. I had no real idea that this real estate thing was even a reality, if I'm being totally honest here. And I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, because ultimately between the different coaching programs and the seminars and all that good stuff, whether they were worth the money or not, they all taught me extremely valuable lessons. But the number one lesson, and the most important lesson that I learned, was how to identify truth from fiction. It's what one of those mentors that I hired called his signal to noise ratio, with signal being the truth and noise being, not the truth. Those of you who are familiar with electronics can really understand what I'm talking about. But essentially what it means is I developed this kind of uncanny ability to weed out, who in the industry were the bullshitters. Excuse my French. But this business is absolutely loaded with these guys. They're rented suits, rented cars, rented jewelry, all that stuff. It's all noise. It's not reality, and it really doesn't mean anything. All that flashy stuff, the pictures on the yachts. Come on. None of that stuff actually translates to you going out and you doing deals. It's all fake nonsense and marketing designed to pull you in and empty your pockets. That's it. Very few of these guys actually produce results. So why am I telling you all this? Well, the first reason is to give you something to think about the next time you see some guy posing on the hood of a Lamborghini, gazing into the abyss with their big giant sunglasses. Just watch out. Be careful. And understand that that's not how it goes down in real life. If those people were truly wealthy, they'd be much more humble than what they are. And they'd be much more apt to helping people instead of posing as some kind of rock star playing on your desires to be filthy rich, But ultimately, I'm telling you all this because I do understand the struggles that people go through in this business. I've had years that, if you looked at my net worth on paper, I should have been living in a cardboard box. Conversely, I've had years where I thought I could maybe go out and buy a Lamborghini and some, really large sunglasses and go sun gazing. I'm kind of kidding about that, but really dealing with everything from things like extremely small marketing budgets, problems with having my spouse on board with this whole real estate thing, and just everything that goes along with building a business from the ground up. All of those experiences, the good and the bad, they've been, without a doubt, the most valuable lessons that I have ever had. And I actually consider them gifts from God, really. And despite all the money I spent on mentors, coaches, and trainings, I would say probably 75 to 80% of what I was being taught was not reality, and it did not translate to real life situations. When we started to develop our apprentice program, there was one thing that I knew needed to be a certainty. And that was this idea that we were not going to BS anyone. We were not going to sell ourselves out in order to make a buck. We were going to be very poignant, very real, and very raw. We were going to put the apprentices first, regardless of whether we benefited or not. I'm not stupid. I know that if I can deliver on all of these promises, the investment would be returned tenfold. That's just how the world works. You provide a ton of value without the expectation that you're going to gain something from it. And then sit back and watch out, because that is when the floodgates open. The next thing you know, you have to open up yourself to receiving all these gifts and whatnot. I mean, it's a wonderful thing to experience. So with this in mind, I've made a decision to offer something that you just don't see in this business every day. Actually, if I'm really being truthful, I was approached by an individual who wanted to be a part of the apprentice program, and he's the one that came up with this idea. So I really can't take full credit for it. But this gentleman's idea was to offer membership into our apprentice program at a significant reduction in price. Like really significant. Like free. So really at that point, I did have to tell him that to offer this for free would be career suicide. There really isn't any way to host an apprenticeship for free. I wish there was, but there are definitely costs associated with organizing something like this. So instead, what I decided to do was to cover the majority of the cost to get into our apprentice program by way of, drumroll, a partial scholarship. Actually, that wasn't my idea either. It was this new friend's idea as well. And if I'm being honest, in the beginning, I thought it was just a pretty wacky idea. But then he reached out to me a second time, and he brought up the idea again. So I ended up talking it over with my wife, who, by the way, is responsible for keeping my wacky ideas in check. Regardless of that, we sat down and we figured out what it cost to run the program per apprentice and what we could afford to forego with our normal fees that we normally charge to get into our apprentice program. Now, I have to tell you, I am a little bit nervous. After it was all said and done and everything was decided on, the number we came up with was, it's literally just enough to cover the costs for our tools, our subscription, third-party vendors, and some of my time. So here's the deal. We are going to open up our apprentice program to anyone who wants to apply. But right now, at this time, we're only going to accept 20 new people into the program. This is going to be a whole new group, and those 20 people are going to be hand-selected by, you guessed it, yours truly. Okay? So let's do this. I'm going to put a link down below to a landing page that has some more info about this whole thing. If you're interested in learning more about the scholarship, go to that landing page and fill out the form. I think there's a little pop-up button there. Once you do that, we're going to send you some information with dates and times to apply for the scholarship to the email address that you provide in that form. Now, I want to be clear on something here. This is not a free ride. There is a fee associated with this. That fee is insanely discounted, but nevertheless, there is a fee. Also, you should know that just because you fill out the form doesn't mean that you automatically get awarded this scholarship. We have some very, very specific requirements relating to the type of person we're looking for and the type of person we're wanting to work with. And if you're not a match, if that doesn't match you, then you're just not a match, and we would decline your application. But I can tell you this much: if you are accepted, you'll begin the apprenticeship in mid-November. This will give you plenty of time to get everything squared away and prepared for this. So if you can't be ready by mid-November, then you should probably just not apply or fill out the form. Anyway, go ahead, check out that link. If you've ever considered joining our apprentice program, now is the perfect time to take that first step. And hey, Sincerely, I want to thank you for being part of this community, part of this group. This is a insanely special group of people to me, and I'm really honored to be able to give back to all of you. So go ahead and check out that link. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon.